the Safdie brothers' Uncut Gems, starring Adam Sandler. So, this was a movie that we were both looking forward to. We're pretty big fans of A24 for the most part. We like what they do and what they stand for. So, we saw this. What did we think about it, Alex?
Here's my really, really low-hanging fruit bad joke. The movie is an uncut gem of a movie.
Very Gene Shalit.
Yeah, no, I was channeling my inner Gene Shalit. No, but I thought this was excellent.
Yeah, I had a really good time with it as well.
I guess it's easier to say the only thing I didn't like, or it's not that I didn't like it just felt out of place, was the score.
Yeah, it's very showy, isn't it?
It's very like, oh, let's do the 80s because 80s synths are ethereal and kind of, whimsical. And for a movie that felt very steeped in modernness, it just felt out of place. Not that the music itself was bad. It didn't fit. It didn't fit. Now let's get on to everything else, which was good. Mm-hmm. One interesting thing about this movie is it does such a great job of inviting you into the world of this movie. Much like other A24 joints. Mm-hmm. Green Room was A24, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so like Green Room, you almost feel like you're in the band in a weird, or you get the idea of what it's like to be in that band as they go to the creepy like Nazi compound. Mm-hmm. Here, it's like you get the feeling of how stressful Howard Ratner, main character played by Adam Sandler, how stressful his life is.
Yeah.
And it's a stress-inducing movie, and I know that's been a common thread with how people are reviewing this movie, and they're absolutely right.
Well, have you seen Good Time?
Good Time?
Yeah, the Safdie brothers' last movie with
No,
Robert Pattinson.
I have not.
So this is very similar to that in a lot of good ways. So things, I would say the best thing about this is like what you said. Like, things just never feel easy in this movie. Like, there's always some sort of like ticking clock, like force of pushback, or like there's a complication that just makes shit harder for the character of Howard Ratner, played by Adam Sandler. Things that just happen that fall in his lap that really makes this toilet of a life that he's got overflow. Mm-hmm. And you're like, man, this is just not going well for him. And it's all the credit in the world to the Safdies for obviously co-writing this and directing it in such a way, but also Adam Sandler for like perfectly embodying and depicting like this guy's life falling apart and being like on edge. And it's a workout, man. This is a rough movie to watch at times.
Yeah, and you want to know another way that that's apparent is there's so much overlapping dialogue.
Yes.
There's so many characters talking over each other, and it almost makes it kind of hard to hear what they're saying to each other. But I felt like that's intentional because
you get the idea.
You just get the idea that there's so much chaos in this guy's life, and there's so many people just not listening to each other. Mm-hmm. You know,
especially there's one scene, without spoiling anything, involving a magnetic lock on a door into a vestibule that they're trying to get open, and there's not even really any super big stakes in the scene, sort of, in comparison to what happens later, but God, is it stressful to watch. Yeah,
exactly. You just get the idea that this guy he has no
control.
He has no control, but he has no downtime. Mm-hmm. Because like that was one of the things I thought was interesting, without spoiling much. I thought barriers were kind of a big theme in this movie. Like there's a lot of time where just to get a breather, he needs to be, talk to someone in a room, like off to the side when there's
alone with the door closed.
Yeah, but outside one door away is a party or chaos or work or something.
Right.
There's just something right nearby waiting for him, no matter what he does.
Something around the corner.
Right. Also, again, 2019 coming through in the clutch with all these movies about scummy bastards.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Just shitty people, but interesting to watch shitty people.
Yeah, in very many ways, this kind of takes a lot of what Good Time did and brings it up to 11. Like, obviously, that's also a very fast-paced movie, and it's There's a MacGuffin in that as well, without spoiling it. But that also has a character that's kind of scummy. But this is even worse. It's like, wow, Howard Ratner is just not. He's not an evil person, but he's not a good dude.
He's not a good guy, and you see a lot of that through his family and through
his treatment of others.
Well, it's also the company he keeps.
Right.
So why don't we tell him what the plot is?
Yeah.
For those of you listening at home.
Well, this is about Howard Ratner. He runs a sort of, not middle end, like lower middle end jewelry shop that specializes in selling. Basically, he wants to sell jewelry to like high profile clients. One day, the Boston Celtics' own Kevin Garnett walks in, and he sells him this rock, this black opal. And lo and behold, there's, shit ensues, shenanigans and such. Items are pawned, and loan sharks abound.
It's basically about this guy who's a compulsive gambler and the lengths he has to go through to pay off those debts.
Yes. Whether or not that happens or not, well, you have to watch it.
Yeah, or you'll just wait till the spoilers in like 5 minutes.
Right.
But while on the subject of Kevin Garnett and others, the acting is really superb in this.
Yes.
I was immensely impressed with Kevin Garnett.
There are a lot of actors in this.
Basketball player.
Yeah, there's a lot of actors in this, not just Kevin Garnett, but like, and I haven't even looked up a lot of them, but I'm like, I know for a fact, like, but not really, like, that some of these people probably don't act for a living, but it doesn't matter.
But I feel like
real.
That's what I was going to say. This world, I know this is a phrase we use a lot, feels lived in.
Yeah, they feel like real people.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what the hell the Diamond District is actually like, aside from a handful of like short documentaries I've seen on YouTube or whatever. Mm-hmm. But this feels authentic.
Yeah.
For I guess a dummy like me who doesn't really know or live it, but it feels real.
Yeah, these feel like real loan sharks, real.
Oh my God! Yeah, the loan shark guys are
real pawn shop owners, real jewelry appraisers, real groupies of basketball players. Even
right. Kevin Garnett was really good.
He's great.
I looked it up. He's been in like. He was an extra in some like Wilt Chamberlain biopic from the 90s or something. Like, he hasn't done like a lot of acting, so I was really impressed. Yes, he's playing himself.
Yeah, a fictionalized version.
In an interview, he did say that it's a mix of himself, but also a character.
Yeah, that's what I kind of liked. It's fictionalized. It's like, I'm going to play a larger-than-life version of Kevin Garnett.
And Lakeith Stanfield, who plays one of... Damani, who's one of Howard's kind of brokers who tries to get him these high-profile clients. And also, don't forget Julia Fox.
She's very good. Also, someone who doesn't really act or hasn't really been in a professional
she's been
AAA movie.
This is she's a relatively newcomer when it comes to acting. She was really good, and her character was really interesting because there was a part of you that kind of felt like she was sort of manipulative, but at the same time, she felt it seemed as though she did sort of genuinely like Howard.
I think it was genuine. I think it was kind of an interesting reversion of trope where it's like, yeah, she's just like the gold digging
but she's also not.
What do you mean? Well, she has at least that's what it apparently was like. Yeah, she has genuine feelings for this guy who's horrible and not a good dude.
And it's like, well, they kind of seem made for each other.
They're both scummy, emotionally kind of manipulative and just self-destructive people.
But at the same time, you kind of feel like she's not as bad as Howard.
Right.
And that's kind of, that's an ongoing theme of the movie, isn't it? Mm-hmm. All the bad shit in the world, Howard's kind of the worst.
Right.
Well, except not entirely.
No.
Without giving too much away. The movie's themes about gambling are interesting because, again, with the way Howard lives, it's not just about something as simple as just making bets or,
It's about power.
It's about power, but it's also about
seizing opportunity and such.
Gambling is a behavior. It's a mode of living for him.
It's a drug.
Yeah. And it's also the way that he treats everything like gambling. Because, I'll save it for spoilers, but the way he kind of moves in and out of relationships with people, like his wife and family, who he's kind of estranged from because they're waiting till after Passover to get a divorce.
He pushes his luck in many situations, not just like monetary ones. Like he'll do something in an interaction with somebody where it's like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? That was not smart. That was a big pull, and sometimes it'll pay off. Sometimes he eats shit for it.
Yeah. All right, so want to move on to spoilers?
Let's do it.
All right, so one thing I noticed, in many scenes, the quieter things got, the worse they got for Howard.
Oh, yeah?
Either that or the more pathetic it got. You know, like, for example, you know, he kind of pulls the wife aside, you know, and as that's mentioned in the trailer, it meant nothing, you know, it means nothing, it's done.
Give me another shot.
Yeah, it's just, he's so pathetic. And you know what's really weird about that scene? She jokes with him almost like in a way where she seems
endearing,
but at the same time you can't help but feel like there's a undercurrent of seething hate along with it.
Oh yeah,
where she has these mixed emotions. So, you know, he thinks in these quieter times where it's like, look, can I just talk to you? But he still just doesn't get what he wants because it's just too late. His chaotic life has made it to the point where even in the quiet moments, there's just nothing left for him.
Yeah, and I think that one of the other things that, well, since we're talking about spoilers.
Oh, also I was going to mention also another scene where that happens when he tries to talk to Arno at the party.
Yeah, played by Eric Bogosian of talk radio fame.
Yeah.
Good stuff. But no, I agree with you. And also that's a great moment too because it's like you realize that this guy, or maybe I missed it, but like that was the first moment I probably missed something. But you realize this is his brother-in-law.
Yeah.
Arno. I'm like, oh, fuck.
No, I think that's the first time they hint at it.
That's crazy. We see him at Passover. Him and Gooey.
Yeah.
I love that. That's like top 3 character names for 2019.
Yeah.
Fucking great.
Yeah, but so another thing in spoilers. So I was mentioning how chaotic he lives his life. Is the movie not just summed up by the fact that, okay, I'm going to give you this ring, I'm going to pawn it temporarily, but then I want it back by Friday.
Oh my God.
That was stressing me out just to watch him explain that to that guy, like, ugh.
That, and then there's that great...
And the fact, or how about this? The fact that he lends KG the blood diamond.
Yeah.
The huge, gigantic chunk of rock.
Yeah, and then there's a great scene where it's like a callback to him pawning off collateral items. There's a scene, remember in the beginning when he's pawning that fucking, what do you call it? The Michael Jackson on the cross necklace. And you see the guy later in the movie, he's like, hey, where's my Michael Jackson necklace? I'm like, oh my God, no.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good
stuff. So circling back to what I was talking about in non-spoilers about barriers. Okay. So I talked about him meeting in separate rooms to talk to people privately, like trying to get privacy. The trunk of a car, when he gets shoved in there, trying to run away from them, and his daughters, play.
Right.
And it's so funny. I love how the 3 ages of the kids. The one daughter's the oldest is completely aware of what's going on.
Yeah.
And then I think the middle kid like kind of doesn't know.
Yeah.
And the youngest kid like loves him.
Oh my God, it's so messed up.
Yeah. And then let's talk about a really important part involving barriers. The glass in the vestibule.
Yes.
That separates him from being fucking murdered.
Yeah.
Well, for a time.
For some time, yeah.
That's like the whole movie. It's like, can I just get a minute to watch this game now? And then I'll pay you back. He just thinks everything's going to work out. But the way that guy looks at him, what else is he going to do besides shoot him in the face? And then he does. Obviously, that's what happens when he lets him out. The look in that guy's eye freaks me out.
I could watch Howard Ratner watch basketball all fucking day. Like, that dude is just... I mean, Adam Sandler... I hate this goddamn phrase, but like, he disappears into the role. But it's like, I forgot about Adam Sandler in this movie at a time. Like, I was watching Howard Ratner, this shitbag guy... I was watching him watch the Celtics and make a shit ton of money twice, and fail miserably both times. Yeah. Oh my God, the scene where he finds out that Arno rescinded the bet.
Yeah,
like, God damn it. Oh my God, there's so many scenes where I'm like, fuck no. Where they reappraise the opal and then the auction scene gone awry with Kevin Garnett.
Oh, yeah, you're like,
gooey.
no.
You're like, $190,000.
Yeah.
The fuck am I supposed to do? Howard.
Gooey didn't look all that happy.
No, but at least, you know what? At least his son, is it his son? At least his son got his KG merch sign.
Yeah. Speaking about other scenes that I just couldn't get enough of, the fight with The Weeknd. just the novelty of Adam Sandler getting into a fight with The Weeknd. What's there not to love about that?
I can say I've seen it all now.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
No, I mean, he really does, as you said, disappear into his role.
I mean, he just commits hard to this character.
I just feel bad for anyone who's gonna say that they didn't want to see this. Like, this is not Adam Sandler's this isn't like his other movies now.
No, not at all.
And I guess that's kind of why this is surprising in one sense, but I mean, the trailer looked good, so I'm not really that surprised that I liked it so much.
Right. I couldn't imagine anybody else in this role, even though, I think Jonah Hill was originally slated to play this character, but now that I've seen Adam Sandler do it, it's like, I don't know if I can imagine anybody else doing it.
Yeah. When Howard gets killed, it basically perfectly sums up the movie, though.
Yeah.
He won the bet, but he didn't consider the cost of winning. Mm-hmm. I think that's pretty much the whole movie. I mean, the part where he compares his behavior to Kevin Garnett.
Mm-hmm.
KG. Jesus Christ.
Kevin G.
It's
K Garnett.
K Garnett.
Yeah.
Yeah, anyway. So when he's comparing his behavior to KG, saying, it's very telling. This is how I win. Mm-hmm. He plays basketball.
Yeah.
You fuck up your life and are a compulsive gambler and are about to get divorced. And this is how you win, is by purchasing illegal blood diamonds and then cooking up these ridiculous schemes and then losing money in the process and then trying to gamble to get rid of all these problems.
You got fucking...
That's how you win?
You got fucking beaten up and your clothes stolen and locked in your trunk at your daughter's fucking play at her high school.
But Julia got a tattoo.
Of Howie.
That... I gotta say, that was hilarious. Because I felt like it was, this movie wasn't completely humorless, mm-hmm. but that was a good moment of levity.
Well, that was where I was finally, that and the whole third act, where I was like, oh wow, she really does love
exactly.
Because she not only gets the tattoo, but she fucking lays her neck out for this guy.
Yeah.
And in the end, she ends up getting the money. I mean, we assume.
Well, I think the sad part is she's probably going to come back to New York.
That's what I think. And she probably goes there and finds Howard's or she probably is going to find the police at the scene of a murder.
Yeah, either that or the fixers find her and, kill her, or who knows.
Yikes, I hope not.
I don't know, though. I think those fixers were pretty fucked because they shot two men and because then they kill Arno.
They kill Arno, and then you see...
They shot two men in what seemed like daylight. Yeah. And then they tried looting the place. I imagine there was cameras everywhere.
Well, that, and then you hear Idina Menzel's character saying she's going to call the police.
Yeah.
She's like, they locked him in a trunk. I'm going to call the police. I'm like, all right, so they're probably cops are on the way.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's...
I gotta say, it was weird. The moment he gets shot, I felt like, how did I not... This is like Lenny in Of Mice and Men Obvious. And I just, for some reason, like a dumbass, I just sat there dumbfounded. Oh my God! Yeah.
It's pretty, yeah. It's a bummer. It's a bummer to see him go, because you don't want to see him die.
But, well, see, I think that's what a good movie about a shitty person does, mm-hmm. is it makes you realize the tragedy of what they could have been.
Sure.
Rather than what they are. And the lack of him changing his ways is ultimately his downfall.
If you were to ask me, I would say Good Times' bummer ending is a little bit better.
But
I think this is a better movie.
Yeah.
If you could switch the pacing and plot of Uncut Gems with the ending of Good Time, you'd have a pretty goddamn perfect movie.
Okay, so I don't know what the hell that means.
You got to see Good Time. Good Time's pretty damn good too.
Okay, cool. What are we reviewing?
Wait, Caddyshack 2?
Yes. Haven't seen that either.
Little Nicky?
No. You know what? A side note. I think that one's all right.
Little Nicky?
I mean, it's terrible, but it's fun.
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay, but anyway, Uncut Gems. I thought this was fantastic all around. The editing, cinematography. There's so much to like about this. The dialogue, the characters were so strong, especially. Not just him. Arno, Julia, KG. It was fantastic. It was just, it came together so nicely. So, want to move on to scores?
Let's do it.
All right, so since this was the whole package for me, except the score, I couldn't help but feel like it didn't work. Kind of. I'm going to give this 4.5 out of 5.
I'm a little bit lower, and I'll explain why.
How's
the
that?
score also, I felt at times was like, okay, we don't really need this.
Yeah.
Like, it gets a little showy. There's like synth choir and shit. Like, what's going on? But aside from that, also, it's a little long. Like,
I didn't mind it.
Like, do I really need to see him taking out the garbage?
Yeah, that scene,
it's
okay,
small.
that's
It's like
fair.
2 seconds. But, like, there's a couple scenes where I'm like, I didn't really need that.
Yeah.
But the main issue for me is the ending. I'm not a big fan of bummer endings. And I like teachable moment endings. But, like, I think you could have made it a little... I think you could have sold Julia Fox's character, like... maybe have this movie be a little bit longer. I know I just complained about the length. But, like, give me another scene of, like, her, like... going away with the money, or like not like Shawshank Redemption ending type shit, but give me something a little bit of a wrap up instead of leaving me like zooming in on the bullet hole in Adam Sandler's face. So, but it's really, really fucking solid, and I enjoyed the shit out of it. So, 7.5.
All right. So that brings our grand total to 12 out of 15. So that'll do it for our review of Adam Sandler Takes Out the Trash for a Couple Minutes.